Okay, so today I cannot meet you, no? So medyo may mati pakatangan yan, may mga emergencies. Medyo makalugan to lang. Anyway, we will now be continuing our lecture with regards to chemistry of water, specifically yung water quality. Okay? So, when we speak of water quality, no, so this one is the tawag dito, ending nitong sa heat of fusion. After nung topic natin sa heat of fusion, we will now be talking about water quality. Sabi dito, this refers to the chemical, physical, and biological characteristics of water based on the standards of its usage. So, yung sinasabing water quality, it has different standards. And also, we have standards for drinking water. We also have standards for recreational water, for irrigation water. So different usage has different standards. So water quality is measured by several factors such as concentration of dissolved oxygen, bacterial levels, the amount of salts or salinity, or the amount of material suspended in the water, which we call turbidity. In some bodies of water, the concentration of microscopic algae and quantities of pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, and other contaminants may also be measured to determine water quality. So it is dependent on the tawag dito, vicinity. No? Depende sa kung anong klase yung doon sa lugar, anong pwedeng maging contaminant at tubig. So, chinecheck natin yung mga possible na makaapekto dun sa bodies of water na malapit. For example, for areas that are near agricultural land, ano, na pwedeng makapasok yung mga fertilizers dun ah, sa sa bodies of water na yon. So, syempre, check natin yung parameters that is related to those fertilizers. So, some examples of that are nitrates, no? So, water quality is also used to determine if water is safe for different purposes. So, especially pag mga drinking water or yung mga water that is meant for consumption. So, when we speak of dissolved oxygen, this is also known as DO, ano yung abbreviation niya. It is an oxygen dissolved in water. So, ibig sabihin yung O2 napupunta dun sa tubig. So, why is this important? Okay? So, importante yung dissolved oxygen kasi this one is one of the parameter kung saan nakikita natin if livable pa ba yung tubig. Ibig sabihin, kaya niya pa bang suportahan yung ibang living organism doon, specifically yung mga animals. Kasi if you recall, um, oxygen is rather animals are dependent on oxygen, no? Especially mga fishes, ano pa ba? Mga microorganisms doon. So, they consume oxygen to survive. Okay, so kung mababa yung dissolved oxygen sa tubig, ibig sabihin, automatic na um, konti yung kaya niyang suportahan na living organism. Okay? So, there are two types of mixture. Hindi ko alam ba't ito yung slide kagad, ano? But anyway, first is solution. So, solutions are homogeneous mixture composed of two or more substance. So, pag sinabi natin homogeneous, hindi na mahirap siyang paghiwalayin. No, hindi natin ma-identify kung alin na yung tubig, alin na yung alin na yung natunaw doon sa tubig, mga ganun. No? So, solutes are substance that is being dissolved. Ano example nito? So, for example, explain ko muna, no? Solute and solvent. So, pag sinabi natin solute, siya yung natunaw. And solvent, yun yung tumunaw. No? So, yung solute, for example, asin. No? Naglagay tayo ng asin dun sa solvent. Ano yung solvent? Let's say water. No? Naglagay tayo ng asin dun sa tubig and then we stir it. No? So we can say that this one is a homogeneous mixture kasi na-dissolve natin yung asin and hindi na natin siya ma-separate. Hindi natin ma-separate yung asin saka yung tubig in itself. Ano? Of course, kaya natin ma-separate yan using other processes but paka-mix mo pa lang, it is now homogeneous. Hindi mo ma-identify kung alin yung asin, alin yung tubig. And then you also have suspension. No, aside dun sa solution, yung suspension naman. Yung suspension, these are heterogeneous mixture in which the solid particles are spread throughout the liquid without dissolving in it. So, ito naman sa suspension, may mga may mga identified tayong mga objects. For example, in floodwaters. So floodwaters, merong let's say mga sand or mga sand particles doon, or let's say mga mga branches or uh, leaves na pwedeng nandun sa tubig. And ma-observe natin na may kita natin then na dahon, ito dahon ito, ano to, ito branches ito, or ito mga buhangin ito. So it is now a heterogeneous mixture or a type of suspension. So there are two ways of how oxygen enters the water. First is through atmosphere or bumping in the oxygen to water, and then you also have photosynthesis. So sabi sa photosynthesis, these are water absorbs the oxygen released by aquatic plants during photosynthesis. So it is also important that we have aquatic plants, especially kung sa mga aquarium, no, para at least hindi na kayo masyado magparabambaning sa, or rather, para may supplement yung sa aerator natin, no? Pag nag-aquarium ka mo or ataman ka mo ng sara sa mga enclosure. Yeah, so therefore, para mas marami tayong maalagaan and mas healthy yung environment ng fishes, you apply yung mga aquatic plants. Okay? So, in terms sa in terms sa atmosphere, sabi dito, in terms sa atmosphere, sabi dito, the amount of oxygen, dissolved oxygen depends on the saltiness, temperature, level of oxygen in the atmosphere. So for example, dito, kung sa level of oxygen sa atmosphere ang pinag-uusapan natin, mas maraming O2, no? Mas maraming oxygen sa atmosphere. Siyempre, mas marami yung pwedeng ma-dissolve sa tubig. Okay, so the higher the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, the higher is the dissolved oxygen din. In terms of the saltiness, pag mas mataas ang alat, no, saltiness, pag mas mataas ang alat ng dagat or tawag dito, ng tubig, ibig sabihin naman dyan, mas mababa yung dissolved oxygen. Kasi yung space for the dissolved oxygen is now mostly occupied by salts. Ano, ibig sabihin, hindi na kayang i-accommodate ng tubig yung dissolved oxygen. Or rather, konti na lang yung kaya niyang i-accommodate na dissolved oxygen because nga, yung spaces supposedly for the dissolved oxygen is occupied now by some salts. Okay? So, same lang yan yung scenario pag tawag dito pag yung tubig, lagyan mo ng maraming maraming asin. Ano nangyayari? Over time, no, habang naglalagay tayo ng asin, darating din sa point na hindi na matutunaw yung asin na nilagay natin. Okay, so yun yung relationship nila. Mas mataas yung saltiness or salt level ng tubig, mas mababa yung dissolved oxygen sa tubig din. And in terms of temperature, the higher the temperature, the lower the dissolved oxygen. So they are inversely proportional, ano? So the higher temperature, the lower the dissolved oxygen. That's why we also regulate temperatures in uh, aquaculture setups. Sa mga aquarium, sa mga fish tanks, tigre-regulate ang temperature kasi there are several factors, no? Several other parameters in terms of water quality that is affected by temperature. So one of those is the dissolved oxygen, aside from pH, aside from um, other parameters, no? Makadepende rin sila sa temperature. So yan. So another chemical parameter of water is or rather, another parameter of water is electrical conductivity. Ang sabi dito, electrical conductivity is nothing but the measure of the capability of the material to pass the flow of electric current. So ibig sabihin sa electrical conductivity, kung kaya niya bang magpalusot ng electric current dun ah, sa material. Okay? Protons, electrons, and neutrons present in the material carry the current, and electrical conductivity is denoted by the Greek letter sigma, and electrical conductivity is the inverse of resistivity and is given by the equation sigma equals to 1 over rho, or rather resistivity, no? where sigma is equivalent to electrical conductivity and rho is equivalent to resistivity. So if you are familiar with some equations sa electricity, you have R is equivalent to rho L over A, if I'm correct, ano? PLA. So, ito yung ginagamit natin na equation in determining the resistance of the material. Okay. So, ang sinasabi lang naman nito, in terms of resistance, this is equivalent to the resistivity of the material multiplied by the length of the material. So, pag mas mahaba, mas mataas, pag mas mahaba yung dadaanan, no, ng kuryente, ang ibig sabihin yan, mas mataas din yung resistivity. And in terms sa area, it is now inversely proportional. Ibig sabihin, mas makapal or mas mahibog ang wire. Kung wire, naging wire ng pinag-ulayan mo ko ng tubig. Ano. But yeah, mas mahibog ang wire, mas madali makaaga ang kuryente. And pag masadit man ng wire, syempre, mas mataas din ang resistivity yan. Mas dikit ang pwede niyang malusutan. So in relation to that, pwede natin itong ma-relate sa conductivity in a sense that sabi nga natin dito, resistivity is equivalent to the inverse of, or rather, the conductivity is the inverse of resistivity. So, pwede mo lang i-plug in dito yung equation para makuha yung conductivity ng material. Okay, but, okay, so let's proceed. So, these are now the units for water conductivity. First, for the international system of units, we use Siemens per meter. And for the US units, you have the millimos per centimeter. So, bakit ginamit natin dito yung mos? MHO as the unit for conductivity, no? Moles per centimeter. So if you recall, sabi nga natin in terms of equation, the conductivity is equivalent to 1 over the resistivity. And resistivity is identified, or rather, yung unit natin for resistivity is, ano unit natin? Ohm. No? So the inverse of ohm, since kabaliktaran nga yung conductivity ng resistivity, is mho. Ano, kaya yung ginamit nila is mho. Mga witty naman yung mga scientists, no? Or mga physicists noon. Or di ko alam kung witty talaga sila. Ano, basta yun yung naisipan nila. Siguro yun yung mga nerdy jokes ng unang panahon. Anyway, let's proceed. So, sabi nga natin, water is a universal solvent. Ano? Water is a universal solvent. In itself, pure water has a very, 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 very low conductivity. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya conductor talaga ng electricity. Mababa yung conductivity niya. However, because yung water dissolves most material, especially pag dumana yan sa groundwater, um, nag-evaporate na yan, napunta yan sa hangin, etc. So over time, it accepts other materials. It accepts salt contents from the ground and from the environment. So that's why, ang nangyayari, because of those foreign material dun sa tubig, nagkakaroon ngayon ng mataas-taas na conductivity value yung tubig. So if you can observe dito yung sa pure distilled and the ionized water, the conductivity value is nasa 0.05 microsiemens per centimeter, which is a very, very low value. However, pag pumasok tayo sa seawater, alam naman natin that seawater is a conductor, no? So because of the salt content dun sa seawater, naging na siyang 50 millisiemens per centimeter. Mataas na rin ito. Now, for drinking water, you have 200 to 800 microsiemens per centimeter. And for rain or snow water, you have 2 to 100 microsiemens per centimeter. These are all because of the uh, salt contents, no? Mga salt contents, mga materials na na-dissolve na duman sa doon sa tubig. Okay? No. So yan yung pagiging universal solvent ng water. Okay, so in terms naman sa pH level, so sabi dito, a pH, a simple definition is that it measures how acidic or basic a solution is. So a more scientific definition is that it indicates the concentration of hydrogen ions in a liquid. So ito yung mga hydrogen ions. Ibig sabihin yung mga hydrogen na nagbabarag-barag lang duman sa solution, ano? So different pH indicates the amount of hydrogen ions that exist in the solution. So pag nagiging basic na siya, OH naman yan. May plus pa ata. Di ko alam may plus pa siya. Basta, ayan, ano. So yan yung dalawa. Nag-interchange lang yan. Pag mas acidic, mas maraming H+. Pag basic is OH+. So while a low pH indicates a higher concentration of hydrogen, a high pH indicates a lower hydrogen concentration. Kasi those hydrogen ions combines with oxygen to form hydroxyl radicals na yan sa solutions. So water has a neutral pH of 7, which indicates that it is neither acidic or basic. The scale ranges from 0, very acidic, to 14, which is very basic. It is normal for water to have a range of between 6.5 and 8.5 on the scales, but the pure water, sinasabi natin, is nasa 7. Okay, so yung range niya, 6.5 and 8.5, yung range na yan is because of those materials that is again dissolved in the material, in the water rather. So, yung formula natin for pH is this one. So, pH is equivalent to negative log of, ano ba to, H3O plus. So, this is another measure. By the way, yung nandito na value natin, it could also be H plus or any other value. So, this indicates the molarity, no? Kung ilang moles ba per liter yung nandun sa solution. So, for example, take note na no, negative log siya, negative log of H3O plus. So if, for example, if you have a molarity of 4 times 10 raised to 3, or rather negative 3 moles of, ano ba? Para consistent tayo dito of H3, H3O. What is now the pH of the material? So you can pause this video to calculate kung ano ba talaga yung pH. So ako, makalculate man ako, syempre. So I assume hindi pa kayo nag-discuss regarding sa logarithm, ano? So log is related to exponentials, ganun. Pag sinabi exponentials, hindi lang ito exponents, ano? Hindi lang ito exponents, that is, yung mga yung mga power, no? E raised to x, for example, or log of 3 ngaya, for example, mga ganyan, may base 10. So, mga ganyan yung mga kasama sa log. But the discussion of that, I will leave it to other faculties. No? But, yeah, so dito, substitute mo lang to. Plug in mo lang sa plug in mo lang sa calculator yung negative log of the quantity 4 times 10 raised to negative 3. So, plug in lang natin yan. You will obtain a pH of equivalent to 2.397 or approximately equal to 2.4 na pH. So, itong 2.4 pH na to, it indicates kung ano ba yung kung acidic ba siya or basic. So, based dito sa value na to na 2.4, if you go back to the definition, it is now a substance that is acidic kasi mas pababa siya dun sa 7, ano. Lower than 7, that is acidic. Higher than 7, nagiging na siyang basic. Okay? So, I hope gets man ini yung sa pH. So, there are risks associated with acidic water, no? Especially when intaking this water. So, first, since acidic na nga siya, acidic water are medyo reactive, no? So therefore it can dissolve metals, especially dun sa mga plumbing, ano. So the risk associated with acidic water includes increased metal intake. So mas maraming metals yung no consume. Is it harmful? Depende sa kung anong metal yung na-dissolve, no? So some metals are okay, but there are heavy metals. Actually, majority of heavy metals are also harmful, especially yung mga lead or other, for example, mercury. So, delikado yan, mga ganun. And of course, since acidic yung water, nagkakaroon ng damage sa ngipin and also plumbing damage. So, dun sa mga pipings ninyo. And then you also have, for basic water naman, hindi tayo bias sa acidic or hindi tayo bias sa basic na water, no? So for basic water, it lowers stomach acidity kasi when we combine basic na water to acid, ang nangyayari is they balance each other out depende sa kung anong amount. So therefore, since the stomach has acids to digest our food material, if you ingest basic water, it increases the pH, causing it to have lower acidity. Ibig sabihin, mababawasan si nakayahan para magtunaw kang material na ini. And then you also have metabolic alkalosis and then poor bone health. So next, naka-blur. Naka-blur man. Next is alkalinity and hardness. So what is alkalinity? Sabi dito, alkalinity is the ability of water to keep its pH stable. In other words, alkalinity is the capability of water to neutralize acids. This ability is referred to as a buffering capacity, a water body with a higher level of alkalinity, which is different than an alkaline water body, has higher level of calcium carbonate. So therefore, alkalinity is dependent on the amount of carbonate dun sa material, which can decrease the water's acidity. No, so kasi yung calcium carbonate, it neutralizes the acidity of water or rather the calcium carbonate. Therefore, alkalinity measures how much acids can be added to a water body before a large pH change occurs. Okay, so dun siya nakadepende. Now, aside from alkalinity, you have the hardness. So hardness is the measurement of the concentration of total divalent ions present in the water. So some examples of the divalent ions present in water are calcium ions and magnesium ions. So these divalent ions are most of the time from the dissolved minerals sa groundwater, no? Dun sa mga napagdaanan na ng tubig papunta sa ilalim. No? So yung hardness, most of the time nakukuha to sa mga tubig na galing sa ilalim, sa groundwater. So however, sabi dito, calcium and magnesium are the most common sources of water hardness. The unit for water hardness is ppm per calcium carbonate equivalent. So there are two types of water hardness. So first is the temporary hardness, which occurs due to the presence of calcium hydrogen carbonate and magnesium hydrogen carbonate. So um, ito yung nag-release ng mga tawag dito, calcium and magnesium ions. So both species decompose when heated and CaCO3 or magnesium CO3 precipitation occurs. Therefore, temporary hardness can be removed by boiling water. So yung sinasabi nating temporary hardness, ito yung nakikita natin sa Takore, ano yung mga latak doon sa ilalim, mga puti-puti doon. So, ma-observe nyo na mataas yung hardness ng tubig na iniinom nyo if you boil that water, no, tapos merong makuhang na deposits doon sa ilalim na parang mga tawag dito, parang gano'n ng madrigal, ano? Gano'n ng madrigal. Matagas-tagas siya in a sense, pero brittle man. No? So those are uh, those are calcium hydrogen carbonate as well as magnesium hydrogen carbonate. So pag sinabi nag-precipitate, pero nagtripon sila duman sa eraro. Okay, so those can be removed by boiling water. And also you have permanent hardness. Ito naman, this is due to the presence of calcium sulfate. Ang kaibahan nito sa temporary hardness, it cannot be removed by boiling water. No? So, ayan. So what are the similarities between alkalinity and hardness? So, sabi dito, they have the same unit of measurement. Lahat sila ppm in calcium carbonate equivalent. And another similarity is they mainly come from limestone or dolomite sources in nature wherein pagdaan dun ng tubig, ang nangyayari is nade-dissolve yung mga materials na yon. So, when limestone and dolomite dissolves in water, calcium ions, magnesium ions, and carbonate species are mixed with water and calcium and magnesium ions, siya yung contribute dun sa water hardness. While yung calcium carbonate, no, yung mga carbonate species naman, siya yung nagko-contribute dun sa alkalinity um, ng tubig. Okay, so yun yung difference ng dalawa. So aside from that, check natin yung isa ko pang um, may other documents ka ako dito for water quality wherein we discuss other other parameters, no? Kasi sabi natin kanina, yung water quality is dependent on physical, chemical, and biological. And yung discuss pa lang natin is more on sa ano pa? Sa more mga chemicals, no? Syempre chemistry tayo. But I think it is also important that we also discuss the other water quality parameters. Okay, but teka. Skip muna natin to. SCART. So when we speak of water quality, ito na yung sinasabi natin, used to describe chemical, physical, and biological characteristics of water with respect to its suitability for a particular use. So it is dependent on its usage. No? So different water quality is required for different purpose, uh, purpose use of water. No? Yung water quality requirements. As reported by Chobanoglos et al., water unsuitable for one use may be quite satisfactory for another, and water may be considered acceptable for a particular use if water of better quality is not available. So kung hindi naman available yung mga drinking water, maybe you can use uh, other water sources wherein kailangan mo pa syempre ng treatment dun sa tubig na yun para at least maging siyang satisfactory for drinking purposes. Kasi very dependent, especially kung humans, we as humans are very dependent on water. So these are now the water quality parameters. You have physical, chemical, and biological parameters. So itong first natin na napasadahan natin to kanina, yung turbidity. So itong turbidity, it indicates the suspended solids in water. So ma-observe natin yung turbidity during flooding, ano, pag may nagbabaha, ang tendency, pag nagkaroon ng malakas na ulan, dala-dala ng ulan yung mga soil particles. And those soil particles contribute to the cloudiness of the material, no, or of the water. Next is in terms of temperature. So temperature affects the palatability, viscosity, solubility, odors, and chemical reactions. So, ibig sabihin sa palatability, gano'n siya ka-pleasing sa dila pag inom mo, no, viscosity, kano siya kabilis mag-brother, kano siya kahalnas, no? In terms of solubility, ma-observe natin yan, pag nagtutunaw ka ng any powdered drink sa mainit na tubig as compared naman sa malipot na tubig. No, sa in nagkakaiba ng medyo mas takol-takol ang tada-tadang mga powder na day natunaw, duman sa medyo mas malipot-lipot. Kaya nagtutunaw tayo ng powder dun sa medyo, let's say, lukewarm water muna bago tayo naglalagay ng mga yelo. No? So, kasi solubility is dependent also in the temperature. So, odors can also be affected by temperature. Especially if there are volatile substances in the water. So, those substances can be released by heating the water, and ma-observe naman natin that if we increase temperature, those odors can indicate also the quality of water. No, and ito yung sinasabi natin, chemical reaction. So, andyan yung pH, andyan yung dissolved oxygens that can also combine with other chemicals dun sa tubig whenever nagkaroon na ng higher temperature. So, also andyan yung color. This may be due to the presence of material decayed from organic matter, namely vegetation and inorganic matter such as soil, stones, and rocks. Color is measured by comparing the water samples with standard color solutions or colored glass disc. So, iba-iba naman yung mga kulay, ano? Depende sa kung anong material yung nandun. Actually, sa Laguna, meron ngayong medyo mas marami-rami yung parang limestones na nandun. So, yung tubig dun is parang medyo parang chalk na. May mga chalk material dun sa tubig. So, it also alters the color of the water. So, iba rin naman yung mga tubig sa seawater na may different materials sa ilalim. So, color is also an indicator of water quality. So, aside doon, nandyan din yung taste and odor. So, these are mainly due to organic substances, biological activity, as well as industrial pollution. So, I suggest if ever you're checking the water quality with regards to taste and odor, check nyo muna yung odor bago nyo lasahan. Ano? So, pag alangayan ng odor, syempre, hindi nyo naman na siya lalasahan. Anyway, next is the electrical conductivity. So hindi ko na-emphasize to kanina. No, this is the measure of the ability of a solution to carry or conduct an electrical current. So in terms of the electrical conductivity, this is also an indicator of how many salt contents or how many nutrients are in the solution. So electrical conductivity uh, is also used sa hydroponics, sa aquaponics to indicate if the dissolved dissolved nutrients is enough for for the plants, no? Or nasa safe level pa ba siya? Kasi sabi nga natin, water is a universal solvent. So kung mas marami yung um, salt contents doon, no? So yung salts na yun are needed by plants also, or yung minerals na are needed by plants. So the electrical conductivity indicates the concentration of those nutrients na nandun sa solution. Ito na yun, yung pH. This is the measure of hydrogen ion or yung H+, no? The French word pauvre hydrogen, which means hydrogen power. Okay, tsamba lang yung pauvre. Trip lang yun, ano? Hindi, huwag kayong maniwala sa akin. Search mo lang kung anong pronunciation nito kasi French word. Okay? Next is the chloride. No? So this chloride is the dissolution of salt deposits, and also we also have nitrates. So by the way, pH, chloride, nitrates, these are all chemical parameters. So nitrate is the increasing level, ay sabi dito, increasing level of nitrate is due to agricultural fertilizers, manure, animal dung, nitrogenous material, as well as sewage pollution. So nitrates, this one is helpful in terms sa agriculture kung sa farm niya siya ilalagay, but in terms sa water quality, kung mas marami yung nitrates, there are also chances na magkaroon ng algal bloom dun sa tawag dito downstream, no, so nasa baba, kasi doon na pupunta yung tubig, di ba? So pag mataas ngayon yung nitrates, ang tendency is tumaas din yung algae na present dun sa tubig. And pag maraming algae, over time, these algae dies. Namamatay rin tong mga algae na to. And therefore, pag namatay yung mga algae na to, they now consume oxygen during their decomposition. Ano? So, nagko-consume yung mga organic matter, rather yung mga tawag dito, mga algae na to ng oxygen during their decomposition. So, kung nag-consume sila ng oxygen, they lower now the dissolved oxygen dun sa tubig. Okay? So, is it good or is it bad? Siyempre, pag bumaba ngayon yung dissolved oxygen, it is now causing harm kasi konti na lang yung kaya niyong suportahan. No? So, therefore, pag nagkaroon ng algal bloom, expect na magkakaroon ng pagkamatay ng mga isda dun sa area. So, ayun dun, andun na yung mga fish kill na sinasabi. So, dissolved oxygen, nabasa na natin to. This one is an indicator of uh, water quality. No? The higher the concentration of dissolved oxygen, the better the water quality. Okay. So, in terms naman sa biochemical oxygen demand, so the biochemical oxygen demand is it represents the amount of oxygen consumed by bacteria and other microorganisms while they decompose organic matter under aerobic conditions at a specified temperature. So therefore, if you have higher biochemical oxygen demand or higher BOD, nagkakaroon tayo ng expect that there will be a decrease in the dissolved oxygen. No, kasi mataas ang demand sa oxygen during the decomposition. So ang tendency is bababa ngayon yung dissolved oxygen. Next is the hardness. Kisay ka? Sa value. Sige lang po. In terms of the hardness, na pag-usapan nila ito kanina. And so, highly mineralized water. And then, meron tayong TDS na tinatawag, which is a concentration of non-volatile substances present in colloidal or molecular states. So, ibig sabihin, yung total dissolved solids, ito yung mga natunaw, no? As naging na siyang parang tawag dito, solutes. Solutes dun sa tubig. Kasi hindi lang naman talaga suspension yung nandun sa tubig. But rather since it is a very it is a since water is what we call a universal solvent. So anong nangyayari? Nagkakaroon na ngayon ng dissolved solids dun sa tubig. And this could be present in colloidal or molecular state. Okay. So yun yung sa total dissolved solids. So we can remove the total dissolved solids by coagulating them. So pag tipon-tipon tayo yung mga total dissolved solids, they can be a large mass of solids na pwede tanong ma-filter as compared naman sa individual particles pa lang sila. So ang ginigibot, kino-coagulate natin siya to create a larger piece. Exaggerated naman ng arog ganyan. But rather, syempre, mga arog lang kaya for them to precipitate. So some of the biological parameters are bacteria, algae, viruses, and then the protozoa, which are also indicator of uh, water quality. Now, of course, if ever there are large amount of bacteria or let's say fecal coliform in the water, that would mean na hindi siya drinkable or hindi siya safe for drinking. Pwede mong inumin basta aram mo na kung anong mangyayari. So so ganun siya, ano. So algae also is an indicator of tawag dito, an indicator of nitrates. No? So pag mas maraming algae, syempre, ibig sabihin yan, maraming organic material yung nandun sa tubig. And ayan. And also nandyan yung mga viruses and then the protozoa na pwedeng maka-harm din sa atin. No? So hindi dito kasama yung matcha. So these are now the water quality parameters with respect to their classifications. So sabi nga natin, different water quality standards or different water quality can fit into different purposes. So first natin na classification yan is class AA, which is tawag dito parang for drinking water siya, no? Na minimal lang yung kailangan mong treatment para siya mainom, no? So andyan yung sabi dito, um, only approve disinfection to meet the latest PNSTW. So these are intended primarily for waters having watersheds which are uninhabited and or otherwise declared as protected area. So some of those na uninhabited are is the Mount Isarog, di ba? Sinasabi na siyang protected area siya since na duman din kita nakukuha ng tubig na inuman. So doon, ang treatment natin doon is minimal. Or rather, hindi ko pala sigurado ano, minimal talaga. But yeah, so same din din. No? So, yung watershed niya is protected. So ibig sabihin, lesser yung pollutants na pwede makabali duman sa iniinom ta. And then you also have class A, which is intended as source of water supply requiring conventional treatment. So andyan na yung coagulation, sabi ko pag tiripon-tipon ko itong mga solid particles duman, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection to meet the latest PNSDW. So aside from that, you also have class B, which is intended for primary contact recreation. So kasama dyan yung bathing, swimming, etc. Wherein pwede tayo maka-intake. No? But minimal lang naman. Okay. So that is for class B. And for class C, those are used for fishery water, no? For recreational water class 2, for boating, fishing, or similar activities, as well as for agriculture, irrigation, and livestock watering. So ito na yung ginagamit natin sa farm, no, sa irrigation water. So for class C, medyo madalas hindi natin to iniinom. Medyo delikado na rin. No? Kasi may mga harmful elements na dito. Then you also have class D, which is navigable waters. So if you recall yung sinabi kanina ni Chobanoglos, kung walang class double A, di try natin yung class A as drinking water. And kung wala naman yung class A, maybe you can also try class B. But syempre, it requires a significant treatments, no? Kung wala pa rin class B na para mainom, then you can try class C, no? Pero ang mangyayari, syempre, ma-irrigate ka mo kanina. Kasi mga kulugan tulak ma-irrigate. So that was ano ba, failure of a joke. I don't know. Ginamit ko siya sa ibang klase pero nahirak na lang sindas ako. Naghirit man senda. Anyway, so ito yung parameters natin or sample parameters natin for Class C. Take note that Class C is for irrigation water, fishery water, or for recreational class water na type 2 no, or class 2. So ito yung mga minimum parameters niya. For biochemical oxygen demand, you have 7 milligrams per liter. Chloride is 350. Color is 75 true color unit. For the dissolved oxygen, you have 5. Take note that this one is for minimum. Ibig sabihin, hindi na dapat bumaba dito sa 5 milligrams per liter. And pag bumaba dito, doon na siya sa navigable water na lang. And then you also have fecal coliform. This one is a harmful parameter which is an indicator of uh, yung mga bacteria na pwede mag-cause ng sickness, especially pag yung term na fecal. Pag sinabi nating fecal, those are uh, from, tawag dito, from the stomach of other animals. Ano? You also have nitrates, you have pH, phosphate, temperature, as well as total suspended solids. So those are some of the water quality guidelines. So you can comment no, kung anong mga questions nindo. And ayan. Thank you.